Welcome back. Welcome back to Minecraft in Motion, where the world border changes every episode, and I animate my builds with structure blocks. Like this door. Last episode we built this door, and I'm really happy the way it turned out, and I'm excited to watch it weather over time into a beautiful green color. I want to get a good view, so I'm going to hop into my hot air balloon and take it up a ways so we can see just how far our border is going to expand. Alright, as of the recording of this clip, I have 328 subscribers. Thank you to everybody that gives me an extra block by becoming my subscriber. Look, oh, that really went out there. That's like 60 extra blocks on each side? That's crazy. Uh-oh, I spent too long up here, so I need to get down to a bed before I get swarmed by mobs. Let me in, let me in, let me in, let me in. Oh, hello. Oh, you think so, do you? Alright, there's no time to waste. I need to get a real base set up, so maybe I can stay away from those pesky mobs. I found diamonds. Let's go see how many I can get out of this. Alright, looks like we've got 4 blocks of diamonds, so let's see if I can get any more than just 4. Nope, just 4. But that should be enough to get my very first diamond pickaxe. Alright, I'm gonna get out of here and build this never-ending ladder. But now I'm finally back to the top. But check this out. Look at just how deep this hole is. Oh man, look at that door. It's really starting to weather now. Check this out. Oh, it works so perfectly. Hello, bee. Okay, I want to grab one thing real quick. Aha. Let's get a little bit of this. Come here. Come here. There we go. Oh man. Take some sugar cane, make it a paper, add a leather, make it a book. Take it a book. Now, for an enchanting table, I just need another diamond and some obsidian. So I'm gonna hop down into my newly minted mine and see if I can find some diamonds. Whee! I've got a diamond, I've got a diamond, I've got a diamond, hey, 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 hey. And look, I found plenty more. Thankfully, earlier I found this spawner room, and inside, we've got a Fortune 1 book and a multi-shot book, but really, it's the Fortune 1 book that I'm excited for. And now, with this obsidian that I mined earlier, I should be able to go ahead and craft up an enchanting table. Efficiency or unbreaking. I'm gonna go with unbreaking. Yep, that's all we're gonna get off of that. That's okay. But regardless, this will make sure that I will have a diamond pickaxe to last. I'm really excited to show you my plans for the storage room, but first, let's address the big hole in the room. So the plan here is to actually make this into an elevator shaft. I'm gonna have 2 different elevators. They're gonna be 3 by 3 wide, so they'll be side by side, and when one goes down, the other one will come up, effectively counterbalancing each other. And we'll just connect them with these chains going through some pulleys, which I'm gonna need a lot more iron in order to go all the way down to bedrock. But I have just enough iron to craft an anvil, which I can now use to get my fortune pickaxe. And I went ahead and scoured the caves for all the iron ore I could find. And this looks like it'll be enough iron ore. Let's grab some coal. And while all of this gets smelted, let's continue on the elevator. Okay, I think it is time for the big reveal. This is my completed mineshaft elevator. It is built almost entirely out of dark oak. The elevator's frame has these diagonal braces that are held together with these stone button like bolts. So anywhere you see a button, there's also a button on the other side to make it seem like it's a bolt that's just tying together the two pieces. This elevator is very simple to use. All you have to do is click on this note block and you automatically move in that direction, taking us to the next floor and then automatically stopping. If I want to go up, there's a note block up here, but when you're at the very top, you can see that there's not a note block because we can't go any higher. But it works pretty well, actually. I'm really happy at how this turned out. This was a massive undertaking. I still cannot believe that I was able to accomplish it. Oh, yeah, so this elevator stop ended up being pretty cool. I was not expecting to have a whole amethyst geode get cut right in the path of my elevator. Okay, so now we're down to deep slate. I also discovered I have a slime chunk here. Here's another unexplored cave. Let's get down here to the very bottom. And now you can see there's no note block here because we can't go any further down. I do want to take a second and go into spectator mode because I want to show you the actual circuit that is controlling the elevators. Each one of these towers controls one of the two elevators by activating structure blocks and command blocks with observers. Every block the elevator needs to move, we need to load in a copy of the elevator up or down by one block, and then teleport the player back into the center of the elevator. In total, this elevator has 7 different floors over a distance of about 150 blocks. Each one of these clusters of structure blocks and observers and all sorts of redstone, each one of these is basically a self-contained control unit for each floor that the elevator stops at. So whenever we click on the note block and it activates the circuit, it's going to place a block here against the face of this observer and activate the chain of observer blocks going up until it reaches here, at which point it has to stop. Now while that's happening, we're also activating the other tower to lower the elevator. And it does this on an observer line that does not activate the teleporting. So if we take a quick look at a stripped down version in my creative world, I can show you what's happening here. So anytime we want the elevator to move by itself without the player in it, we're going to activate one line as opposed to the other. Because what we're doing here is we're powering this block and the structure block next to it. But when we activate this other side of observer blocks instead, you can see that we're directly powering the command block, which has our teleportation command, and the structure block, which means that the player is moving with the elevator, instead of just the elevator moving on its own. There are a lot more pieces that go into making this final product, but most of them are just having to deal with having a second elevator to control and implementing the remote activation so you can operate it from within the elevator. But the important thing is it is done. I now have an elevator that works, going to several different locations in my mind. If for some reason the elevator stops working, I do have some emergency methods here. We've got a fall chute and then a maintenance ladder. So if I wanted to get down to the bottom real quick because the elevator's not working, this does still work. And then of course I can take the absolutely slow method all the way back up. I think I might need to add a way for me to call the elevator to the location that I'm at. Now that I finally have my elevator completely built, I'm just going to go ahead and do some mining and decorating around the base. I have already started a little bit on the entrance over here. I've got a couple little important workstations, and I do want to show you what I'm doing with my storage room. So these different rooms are going to be categorized. So we've got wood over there, and then we've got all the rocks and stone, moss, sand, gravel. Then we have all of the ores, the iron, gold, copper, redstone, lapis, diamonds, and that sort of stuff. And I'll have several more other rooms. And this will have a little bit of automation. When I get there, I'll show it to you, but for now, we just have some chests in a room that I categorize. Alright, I'm going to play around with this a little bit, and I'm going to see you soon. And I'm back. Let's take a look at what I did here. I'm really loving how these vaulted ceilings are turning out, being held up by the pillars. I even used the tile wall instead of the brick to make it just a little bit darker, a little bit different, so it stands out. I used the tuffed bricks on the floor, and I even wrapped these pillars around over here towards the elevator. I'm still working on the ceiling, and we'll figure out what I'm going to do over here, but this is starting to look more like the storage room that I've been planning. For now, I actually want to move on to a different project that is outside the base. I have spent quite a bit of time here, so the door is officially fully oxidized now. I'm really enjoying this like teal green color. I really want the place to look old and weathered and like it has stood the test of time, but not without maybe a few scars. But there's one thing I really want to handle because I'm a little bit tired of just looking at a grassy hill. So this hill has got to go. I'm just going to start chopping this hill down. So you may be wondering why I cleared out this space. And it's all because of this dragon shrine. I really like the little dragon face shrine that I have here. But I want it to have a little bit of a bigger impact than just this little guy. So, to celebrate what we're doing in this series, this is going to be a tribute to structure blocks. So, I'm really excited to show y'all what I've got cooked up here. So I'm just going to use a combination of deep slate bricks and stone bricks to create this pattern. So the structure block has these 4 different textures. This one is just cycling through each one, and I'm going to recreate those in this platform. So I'm going to start with the one that looks like a cross, and that's going to go right here in front of this door. Now let's move on to the next one, which is going to be a pretty easy one. It's just going to be a diamond shape. Just like so. We have 2 diamond shapes. There's one that is filled in and one that is just an outline. We'll do the outline one on the opposite side. Alright, that's 3 out of 4 done. Now let's just do the last one, which is going to be the square. Now with all 4 sides done, I just need to tie it together with some deep slate brick slabs. Obviously, there's still lots of work to be done before we can call this an ancient dragon temple. I will say I really like looking at this dragon face. I don't know why, but it always makes me happy. Well, I've run out of time for this episode. I was aiming for about 15 minutes. Can you believe that I originally wanted to do this series with a 5-minute episode every week? That definitely didn't happen. But I did make a promise last episode to build something at the world border to represent how many subscribers I had at each episode. So that's what I'll end this one with.